My brothers, my sisters, there comes a time in life when everything you held on to begins to fall apart. The job disappears, the friends vanish, the health declines, the dreams you built with so much hope, they crumble right in front of you. And you sit there, asking yourself, why me? You look up at the sky, with tears rolling down your cheeks, and whisper, Ya Allah, what did I do wrong? But what if listen carefully, what if you didn't lose anything? What if Allah is simply returning you to yourself? Maybe you were surrounded by noise, people, and plans that made you forget who you were. Maybe you were chasing this world so hard that Allah, in His mercy, decided to pause your journey, not to destroy you, but to wake you. Sometimes losing everything is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your real story, the one where your heart finally finds peace with Allah. Sometimes, when we go through loss, the very first thing that crosses our mind is, Allah must be angry with me. We start to question ourselves, did I sin? Did I fail? Why would Allah take this away from me? But my brothers, my sisters, not every loss is a punishment. Sometimes it's a purification, a gentle, divine cleansing from the one who knows what your heart truly needs. You see, when we live comfortably, when everything goes our way, we often forget the giver while enjoying the gifts. We start to depend on the people, the money, the health, and the position we have, thinking they will always be there. But Allah, out of His mercy, may remove something from us, not because He hates us, but because He loves us enough to bring us back to Him. He wants to wash away the layers of pride, attachment, and negligence that have quietly built up in our hearts. Loss hurts, there is no denying that. The pain is real, the emptiness is heavy. Yet within that pain lies a secret mercy, because it is often when everything is taken away that we finally fall to our knees and cry out sincerely, Ya Allah, I need you. That moment, that cry, that tear, it's more valuable than years of heedless comfort. It's a conversation between you and your Lord that may elevate you higher than any worldly gain ever could. When a believer faces hardship with patience and trust, the loss becomes a means of spiritual washing. Every tear shed in patience erases a sin. Every moment of Sabr plants a seed of reward. Sometimes Allah removes what you love to give you what will save you. And if He didn't take it away, maybe you would have lost yourself in it. So the next time you lose something or someone, don't rush to think Allah is punishing you. Instead, pause and whisper, perhaps my Lord is purifying me. That mindset changes everything. What once felt like destruction begins to feel like direction. What once looked like loss begins to feel like love. Because when Allah purifies, He does so only to prepare your heart for something purer, your connection with Him. When everything around you disappears, the people you leaned on, the titles you carried, the comfort you were used to, you begin to see yourself as you truly are. Without the noise, without the masks, without the distractions, you meet the version of you that was hidden beneath all the layers of this world. That's the real you, the one who stands before Allah with nothing but a heart that still beats with hope and faith. It's easy to think we know ourselves when life is stable. We define our worth by what we have, our job, our family, our status, our achievements. But when all of that is stripped away, when everything you identified with is gone, you are left standing alone, raw and fragile. And that's when you begin to understand who you truly are, not what the world told you to be, but what Allah created you to be. In moments of loss, Allah allows us to rediscover our core. The world tells you to build an image, but Allah invites you to build a soul. The world teaches you to collect things, but Allah teaches you to collect sincerity. When everything is gone, the one who still turns to Allah, who still says Alhamdulillah, who still prays even with a trembling heart, that's the real you. Sometimes Allah removes what surrounds you so that you can finally look within you. You start realizing that peace never came from the things you owned, but from the faith that stayed when those things were gone. You notice that people's opinions never defined you, your connection with Allah did. You understand that your strength was never in your possessions, but in your patience. It's in those quiet, broken moments when you have nothing left to prove, nothing left to hold on to, that your soul starts to speak. And it whispers, "I belong to Allah, and to Him I will return." That realization brings a calm that nothing in this world can offer. You begin to see that losing everything didn't destroy you, it revealed you. It showed you that even when the world forgets you, Allah never does. And in that awareness, you find the truest, most unshakable version of yourself. There are moments in life when Allah's plan feels painful, confusing, and impossible to understand. You watch everything you worked for fall apart, and your heart whispers, "Why would Allah do this to me?" You prayed, you trusted, you did everything right, yet life didn't unfold the way you hoped. But that's the mystery of Allah's plan. It doesn't always make sense in the beginning, yet it always turns out to be better in the end. Sometimes Allah's plan will break you first, only to rebuild you stronger, wiser, and closer to Him. When something you love is taken away, your heart naturally aches. You may cry, you may feel lost, you may question the path ahead. But what you don't see at that moment is what Allah is protecting you from, what He is preparing you for. Every delay, every denial, every detour, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Allah never closes a door without leading you to one that's better, even if that journey involves walking through storms. Our human eyes see only the present, but Allah sees the whole picture. We beg for what we think is good, but He knows what will truly benefit our soul. Sometimes the very thing you're crying over today is the thing that would have harmed you tomorrow. And sometimes what feels like the end of your dream is actually the beginning of your destiny. The pain is real, but so is Allah's wisdom. Think about the prophets. Every one of them faced moments of breaking before reaching their purpose. Yusuf A.S. was thrown into a well before he reached a throne. Musa A.S. was chased into the sea before it split for him. Even our beloved prophet Muhammad faced rejection, loss, and sorrow before Islam blossomed. Their stories remind us that divine plans often begin with trials, not triumphs. So when life shatters your expectations, don't lose heart. The same Lord who took something away is the one who will replace it with something far better in His time, not yours. Trust that the breaking is not meant to destroy you, but to shape you. Because only a heart that has been broken for Allah can truly be filled with His light. This world is designed to pull you in with its beauty, its promises, and its endless distractions. We chase comfort, wealth, recognition, and love, believing they will fill the emptiness inside us. Yet, no matter how much we gather, something always feels missing. That's because the heart of a believer was never created to be satisfied by the world. It was created to find peace only with Allah. Detachment from the world is not about giving up everything you have, but about realizing that nothing you have truly belongs to you. When a person becomes too attached to this dunya, their happiness rises and falls with it. If they gain, they rejoice. If they lose, they break. But the one who learns to detach, to hold this world lightly, becomes free. They use the blessings of this world without becoming enslaved by them. They love people, but they do not let people define their worth. They enjoy success, but they do not allow it to corrupt their soul. Detachment means your heart stays connected to Allah, not to the things that fade away. Sometimes Allah removes worldly attachments from our lives to teach us this very lesson. You may lose a person you loved deeply, or something you worked hard for, and it hurts. But through that loss, Allah reminds you that everything here is temporary. Only He remains, and when your heart begins to understand that, your focus shifts. You stop chasing temporary comfort and start seeking eternal peace. The more you detach from the glitter of this world, the more space you make for Allah in your heart. Salah becomes sweeter, dua becomes more sincere, you begin to live with purpose, not just to collect things, but to collect good deeds. You start to realize that every test, every delay, Every disappointment was pushing you away from the illusion of this world and pulling you closer to the reality of the hereafter. True freedom is not found in having everything you want, but in needing only Allah. When your attachment to this world weakens, your attachment to Him strengthens. And that is when your heart finally finds what it was searching for all along, peace that never leaves, because it comes from the one who never leaves. Hardship is like a mirror that reveals who we truly are. When life is easy, it's simple to say we trust Allah, to speak about patience and gratitude. But when the storms come, when we lose someone we love, when our plans collapse, when our hearts are broken, that's when our true direction is exposed. In those moments, we see whether our hearts run toward Allah or away from Him. Hardship doesn't change us as much as it uncovers us. It shows what has been hiding beneath the surface all along. When a believer is tested, the pain can be overwhelming, but within that pain lies an opportunity. It's a moment where your soul stands at a crossroads. One path leads to despair, anger, and blame, while the other leads to patience, trust, and closeness to Allah. The way you respond reveals where your heart truly finds its strength. Some hearts collapse under hardship because they were built on worldly support. But hearts anchored in faith bend, cry, and ache, yet they never break, because they know that Allah is still in control. Allah tests us not to see us suffer, but to show us who we are and who we can become. Through trials, He separates genuine faith from shallow belief. When everything seems dark and you still whisper, Alhamdulillah, that is faith. When tears fall but you continue to pray, that is trust. When your heart is bleeding but you still believe that Allah's plan is good, that is love for your Creator in its purest form. Hardship also cleanses the heart of pride and illusion. When things go wrong, we realize how powerless we are. And that realization, though painful, is beautiful, because it reminds us that we were never meant to control everything. We were meant to rely on the one who does. Every test becomes a call to return, to remember, to realign. So when difficulties strike, look closely at your heart. Does it complain or does it call upon Allah? Does it turn bitter or does it turn humble? Because every hardship is a conversation between you and your Lord. A moment where your heart declares where it truly belongs. And if that direction points back to Allah, then the hardship has already fulfilled its purpose. Sometimes in life, it takes losing everything to realize what truly matters. We spend years building dreams, collecting things, chasing people, and fighting for positions, believing they define our worth and happiness. But when Allah, in His wisdom, takes them away, we stand empty-handed and broken-hearted, and in that emptiness we begin to see clearly for the first time. What we thought was loss was actually a divine exchange, Allah taking away what was temporary to give us what is eternal. When you lose something, it feels like the end. The pain can be unbearable, the silence heavy, the loneliness suffocating. But in that very space where everything is gone, you often find what you were missing all along: peace, sincerity, and closeness to Allah. Because when there's nothing left to hold on to, you finally hold on to Him. When the noise of the world fades, you begin to hear the whispers of your heart calling out, Ya Allah, I need you. That moment, that deep, raw connection is worth more than anything this world can offer. Sometimes Allah takes away not to punish you, but to protect you. He removes people who distract you from Him, wealth that could corrupt you, plans that would destroy your peace. And while your heart may not understand it now, one day you'll look back and say, if that hadn't been taken away, I would have never found myself. Because through losing, you learn to appreciate what can never be lost: faith, gratitude, contentment, and the love of Allah. True gain is not in what you own, but in who you become through your losses. It's the patience you develop, the wisdom you earn, the humility that settles in your heart. You begin to value simplicity, sincerity, and inner peace over worldly achievements. You realize that nothing is truly yours except your deeds and your relationship with your Creator. So, when Allah removes something from your life, don't think He has left you empty. Perhaps He is clearing space in your heart for something far greater, the sweetness of Iman, the strength of Sabr, and the tranquility of knowing that even when you have nothing, you still have the One who controls everything. And in that realization, you'll find you never really lost, you only gained what truly matters. My beloved brothers and sisters, life will test you, it will shake you, and at times it will break you. But remember, every loss, every tear, every unanswered prayer carries a message from Allah. When you lose everything, it doesn't mean you have failed. It might mean Allah is returning you to yourself, to the pure, sincere version of you that relies only on Him. Through pain, He purifies. Through emptiness, He reminds. Through delay, He teaches. Every hardship you face is not random. It's part of a divine design meant to draw you closer to your Creator. The same Lord who took something away from you is the one who can replace it with something far greater, peace in your heart, strength in your faith, and light in your soul. Don't let this world define your worth. It will give and take, praise and forget, lift and drop. But Allah never forgets, never abandons, and never wrongs His servant. When everything else fades, His mercy remains. And when you trust His plan, even your losses turn into blessings. So, if you are in pain today, lift your hands and whisper, Ya Allah, return me to you. Let your loss become your bridge back to Him. Because sometimes losing everything is how Allah gives you the greatest gift of all, yourself, purified, awakened, and at peace in His remembrance. And that, my dear brothers and sisters, is not a loss, it's the beginning of your true return.